he worked first time since I joined Spurs. We've worked in the back four.
Wow.
Because I was used to train that in Serie A a lot, because Serie A really worked back four at the time, or back three, or we changed back five, depends old-fashioned way, you know. And with George Graham, it was the first time, and they said, wow, finally somebody comes working on the defence. And the minute he's done that, our back four, I think we had about 11 match a run, only about 2 goals we conceded, and that was the run we also go to the League Cup final. If you remember that time, you know.
Yeah.
Yes. And this is because the reason the back four was working very hardly on a daily basis on the pitch. George Graham came in at the dressing room and said, you guys, you four, every day with me. That's it. We never saw the other guys. Other guys had been shooting exercise, and we're just in the back, heading, defending, all the kind of basic stuff scenario.
Wow.
But the Stephen Carr, or the late Justin Edinburgh as well on my left hand side, the Saul Camp, we were a unit. We suddenly got to know each other. We were 2 years. We were 2 years working together, but we only now got to know each other in terms as a unit, as a four in the back. And that had a huge impact on the pitch, you know. Each one really raised his confidence. Tottenham suddenly got being international England captain as well. All of that, you know, just because in the club, he started to feel comfortable, and the back four played well. And we had a good, at that time, after a very bad season, a very good season by winning the League Cup.
So, I mean, when we just before we obviously started talking, like, about your career, you said you had some good times and some bad times at Tottenham. So, like, what would you, just if you give us your best time, what you consider to be your best moments and your worst moments at the club? Probably do your worst moments first, because we always like to go from a negative to a positive. So
positive,
yeah. Give us your worst moment first, and then give us your best moment after.
What? Do you have time?
with Dino last week. We were 1 hour and 45 or something like that. So we're still within time.
I'll make sure the fry up is ready. It's breakfast at the time now. That's another story. When I joined Spurs, goodness me, the diet in England at the time for football players, it was in a different planet. So I'm coming back to the positive and negative question, but let's go with the diet bit first. Come on, let's I'm not joking. You know, we're at the time 96, 97. We're in Switzerland or in Germany or in Italy. We're football players. We're trained, we're educated, and eating well, having muesli, yogurt in the morning, having a banana, all of that very kind of nutrition ways. That's our DNA from a very young age. Okay. When I joined Spurs, the first couple of games, I still remember, even today, an away game, which had a hotel breakfast area, and everybody had a fryer, and I was nearly sick. I'm not joking. Having red beans with some eggs and everything on that, and it's just from the smell. I'm not sure. From the smell, I was coming up. I'm going to my room. I say to the coach, I'm having breakfast in my room. I had my little muesli, had my yogurt, and with everybody looking, I was an alien. It's like, all of these Swiss cheese eating here, muesli and everything. They would look at me like big guys like that. And I nearly puked because smell of that fryer. And I say, how can you guys with bacon, fried bacon, everything in the afternoon play football? I will be absolutely all over the place after 45 minutes. And you can see the first 45 minutes, they were all great. But the second half, the fitness started to decline because, of course, some of the diet had an impact, you know?
Yeah.
That's my kind of first kind of experience coming to England at the time. Not now, of course. Now they know everything about it. The kind of they actually got spoiled now how they're eating now. But that was kind of my kind of experience joining Spurs at the time, and. So
was there a big kind of drinking culture, going out for beers?
That's from me. There was also Cam New. Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Old-fashioned way,
Yeah.
I was not drinking at the time. I was like a naive little boy from Switzerland coming to London, and then mostly Ian Walkers and all the other guys. Yeah, let's go for a night out. Bloody hell! I was like, I couldn't believe it. They got the 6-pack of beer in their hands, and they said, "Why are you having this? We're going for a drink somewhere." So it's like, for me, it was very new, all of that. We were in Italy pretty much. We were so disciplined in the diet, what you're eating, you're not drinking, you get measured your weight on a daily basis. We were like kind of, like military place, and coming over here, it was completely on a different planet, to be honest with you. I needed to adjust the whole thing, So, but this is one of the experiences at the beginning, but it has changed. I think Arsene Wenger was one of the first kind of foreign managers who brought all of that kind of attitude from abroad as well, and then other managers as well. And I think now today, there's no doubt they have all the tools to be a great, diet and everything, So So in terms of going back to the question. I think the negative side point of view of Spurs was, I think, when we had the season where we struggled to nearly going down. I think the last match, I think that was a very kind of bad season in terms of, as a team, didn't play well. We were lucky in some of the team games as well. It was not nice because obviously the fans were also frustrated. And when they're frustrated, at the lane, it's not a very nice kind of to play, as a player, That was, I would say, kind of the negative side point of view. But in the same time, for me, it was a kind of a motivation, you might not happy now, but you're going to be happy in the future if I win something for you. That was my mind at the time. And then thinking like that, a year later, it was the positive coming into it. And we won the League Cup. And that was one of the major, I was experience at Tottenham Hotspurs in seeing all the fans absolutely going crazy at Wembley Stadium on that day.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, the game as such is not the most exciting game, I would say, to be honest with you. But I think I contributed quite a lot in that tackle against Emil Heskey as well, and I was happy to contribute there, even with a broken ankle on top of that. But if I look back, I think it was worth anything, every minute, any pain I had on that day, just to see that smiley face on the fans there and pride to be Tottenham Hotspur supporter, winning a trophy. It's not happening all the time at Tottenham. I realised then on that day, and I realised that even today, to be honest.
Exactly. I mean, even today, today, it's only your team and the team of 2008 that have won anything in recent times. So
30 years.
That's got to go down as a massive achievement.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's when you say, the fans were frustrated and everything. Yes, I'm not angry with them whatsoever. I say that they have the rights to be frustrated and potentially angry, etc. I look at I'm super fortunate to play for such a big club, and I'm super fortunate to be the player on the pitch, not be on the stand. I look at it that way, and from that point of view, I'm never going to be angry with the fans if they're going to be, of course, with respect. Of course, the fan has to be respected in terms of to us as well. Yeah. As long as they're frustrated and they want to get the anger out, that's their duty and that's their. I'm not angry with them, So I'm actually proud to be playing as a player and be a professional player, because that's my dream came through and I'm doing it. So from that point of view, I'm never going to be angry with the fans,
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So we're going on to the taboo subject. You've mentioned his name a couple of times. So you played alongside. You've mentioned you had Jurgen Klinsmann, Ginola, Anderton. Sol Campbell. Who is the best? I mean, who's the best player that you played alongside? Because interestingly, obviously, at one point, obviously Sol Campbell was massive for the club, but but the player that is now revered, like, is Ledley King, and you would have had him. You were there as he was coming through on the other side as well. So, how good was he when he was coming through, and who was the best player? I think in the time that you were there, who was the best player that you played alongside in the time you were there?
I think you mentioned some great players already there, to be honest with you. Okay. There's no doubt, I think David Ginola is one of the classical players you can play with, in terms of skills, character, himself as a personality, and that, Klinsmann's completely a different attitude as a player and personality. As I say, I think we had a very good team as well. If it just names you mentioned, they're all top quality international players. I think we started to meld together. I think on that year we won the League Cup. So you can't really single out one player because most of them they were top players. To be honest, playing against Sol Campbell together, it was great as well. And as such, I see him when I joined Spurs at that time. I couldn't see him first as the player. He has hugely, over the period of time when I played at the club, improved, to be honest, to be a top player. When I joined, he was not that player. I thought he left us,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Good stuff. All right.
All right.
Just moving on from Spurs, you went over to Celtic for was that a 6 month loan period or something?
Yes, 6 months. Yeah, unfortunately,
6 months. But within that 6 month period, you managed to feature in them winning the treble. So
yes,
that must have been really good time for you. Really, enjoyable part of your career. How was it up there in that? That's a whole different environment, isn't it? It's just like,
It's a different ball game completely. This is massive club in terms of supporters, history. Coming from Spurs, winning the League Cup as well. Of course, I was sad in one way to leave it because I was starting to go back for my fitness after the broken ankle for the League Cup. It took me a good 9 months to come back or more. For me, it was good to have a regular place again. And at that time, after coming back from injury, was not as easy to coming back. And I wanted to play every week. I used to play before at Spurs, and Celtic came up for such a big club. It's not 1 minute I actually was thinking about that. Let's go for it. That's a huge club, and joining them, and then immediately on the first game, scoring a couple of scores as well. That was my first impact straight away for Celtic. And then obviously had a fantastic 6 months with them. The relationship with the fans was top. Winning the treble, out of my dream, frankly saying, when I signed. How would you believe you're going to win an historical treble-winning season, for them? It was, without a doubt, one of the best time within my career. It was top.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Good. So, you went on to Watford and finished off at Crittau, I think. And
yeah.
But after retiring from football, unlike some of the other ex-players, you haven't gone into into a career within the game, and having read up a little bit about you, doing my little bit of research. When you were at Grasshoppers, you'd done this degree, right? Yeah. in finance, and was it finance and business or something?
Business administration and finance and banking.
Yeah. And obviously, but mind you obviously kept an interest in that while you were playing as well. So you started a portfolio while you were playing. So this was
yes and no. Of course, when you play, you can't focus on playing. But when you coming to the age of looking for the retirement, it's, if I look back now, I'm glad I actually done during the time at Grosshopper, that kind of degree, because it gives you a certain foundation in knowledge.